Good afternoon. This is for the entire panel, but especially for James. With regard to the writing for your characters, do any of you have any input over character nuances or character development, or are you stuck to what you're originally presented and told to interpret?
I'll keep the ball off me. There is a lot of freedom to experiment and change with the show. That's not just my character, it's everybody's character. Everybody has had a hand in creating their character as far as I'm concerned. And I think the reason I've never been involved in a project where so much score is given to the actors and so, well, you know the character and how does it feel for you? But I feel that the reason we're in that forum or in that milieu is because the people who write and the people who direct have so much innate confidence and a lot of generosity. They're not micromanaging us at all. That would be ludicrous. So for me, it's just as special that the writers allow us to find certain things. That makes me think of them as terribly confident and very, very smart and, like I say, really generous. So that because we're trying to make the best of the best. Everybody wants to do the best thing. It's not about, oh, well, I don't want to do that because that's your idea. I mean, that would just be insane. But I've certainly been in a lot of projects where it is that thing. It's like, no, I didn't write it. No. And you must say, and. That's kind of pathetic, and that's what I think. So we've all, I think, had a lot of freedom to experiment, and like I say, I think that comes from the confidence of the team behind us.
I think that pretty well answers the question for all of us. I'm lucky in playing Tigh because the writers love writing for Tigh. Sometimes they love it too much because I am the hard-assed and they kind of think that I am a redneck right-wing just because I say the truth. So sometimes I have to pull them back. There was a challenge. Sometimes you read it, and I know this from read-throughs. Like Aaron, when he's at the read-throughs, just says, "I'm not saying this," and doesn't say it. James will take it and add to it. You go, "Holy smokes, what's he doing there?" Because we've been with these characters for so long. But in an episode that I just watched, actually on the way down here, I think it has been on the air because I watched it. I say we've been chasing these slit-eyed black bastards for years now, and why would they change or something like this? And when I read that part, that's the kind of overwriting they do for Tigh. But then thought, you know what, I'm going to say this and see if it actually makes it to air. Because in these days, we don't say slit-eyed black bastard. But actually, Tigh is talking about the Cylons, and Tigh would say this. But that's the kind of thing that I, as Hogan, the actor, have to watch, because you get the understanding when the writers overwrite that. You know the intention that they're saying, but sometimes it's kind of politically incorrect or just too much and wrong. Tigh wouldn't really say that. But we do have an immense amount of freedom. Unlike most television series that you do, the network does not interfere with us. It's amazing. I had that mic yesterday. This is Eddie's mic.
No, I'm just curious. I was just curious. Did they leave it in?
Oh, yes, they left it in. It's in the episode that aired. Yeah, which is interesting.
I have kind of a follow-on question for Richard. When you were approached by Ron to play Tom Zarek back in season 1, what did you think about this revolutionary, basically an IRA terrorist? And have you been surprised how that character has, I thought they were going to kill him off for sure in that first appearance, and yet I think you're going to end up doing more episodes of New Galactica than Classic.
Right, well, he kind of described it as a political revolutionary a la Nelson Mandela. That was all he said. It was I have to tell you that if you're an artist, you're revolutionary on some level. So I related to the role, but I didn't realize he was going to take me down some of the pathways he's taken me down. And the funny part is I didn't really learn much about my backstory until I got the 4-part miniseries from Dynamite Comics. You know, and the interesting thing is, a lot of times actors don't get all the backstory, you know, and you kind of have to fill it in yourself. You have to kind of go and conjure that up because you really need to create the foundation for your character. And the interesting thing is that, you know, so many people would look at me and say, "Wow, you play such a good bad guy," and I thought, I'm not playing a bad guy. You know, honestly, I looked at this guy as a pretty gutsy, courageous guy to stand up against authority, to stand up against a very repressive government and spend 25 years in prison for it. And I thought, how interesting that, who would you be after 25 years in prison? Nelson Mandela came out, an incredible, better human being, but how many of us would come out like that? I think most of us would be damaged. And I kind of looked at Tom Zarek and thought, this is probably a very damaged human being who has lost his faith and trust in government, who has lost his family, lost his closest friends, everybody who he ever loved has been taken from him. So he's dealing with a lot of anger and a lot of frustration. And I have to say, the funny part is that playing a character like this, in a show like this, where honestly, good people do bad things. And you know, sometimes the person judging you is going out breaking all the rules and violating the Constitution and, you know, taking away your presidency. By manipulating me, I will go there. Nevertheless, you get, as a human being, as the actor behind the character, I'm getting pissed off as Richard Hatch for Tom Zarek, you know. And I'm having these horrible nightmares of going out and destroying everybody, you know, and these black nightmares. But anyway, it was an incredible opportunity for me, and the fact that he was gracious enough to offer that to me. And again, I didn't know where it was going to go, but this is, again, a very rare show that recognizes opportunities, does not lock themselves into a box, and when they see something interesting, they're willing to capitalize on it. And they've taken, I think, a lot of actors who came on this show with very small roles, with a few lines, and they evolved into incredible characters. So, you know, fortunately, I've stayed alive this long, and we have 10 more episodes to go, and I won't say where we're going right now, although somebody told me that they actually have 6 of the episodes walking around here in the convention hall. Yeah, they have 6 of the final episodes, but I don't know where that... Oh, it's Eddie? He's got it. Oh, man. Anyway, that's it.
Over here.